Hello, hello, my amazing friends. In this short video, I just want to speak a little bit about being gifted and having spiritual gifts. I had prepared another video. I was going to speak about the spiritual dimensions, but my angel guides got hold of me and said, no, I'm supposed to speak about being gifted and having spiritual gifts. What does that mean? Well, we can be gifted, like she is a gifted painter, he or she is a gifted teacher, he or she is a gifted nurse, doctor. So we all have gifts that we contribute to our world. Isn't that true? That's what keeps the world going. So you can be very passionate and gifted in whatever you do, and when you find you gift, then it's a whole different dimension. But being gifted spiritually, it can be compared to having a sixth sense. Sixth sense means that you connect with the beyond. You connect with the dimensions, and you open to the dimensions that are beyond our physical reality. This usually starts when a young child, has experience when they growing up, because this is exactly what happened with me. I was actually in my teenage years when all of a sudden my crown chakra, my awareness, my awakening just took me to a world of spirit. And that was kind of shocking to my family, because I just felt very comfortable going to the cemetery and not afraid of anything that others just feared, like going to the cemetery at dusk. And I felt the beautiful souls. And it was an interesting experience. And at the same time, I had a guide that would visit me at night, and I would obviously travel, astral travel, that's what we call it now, but I was astral traveling with this guide that would pick me up. I would actually go to sleep, almost like pass out, and just feel this guide coming in. There were footsteps on the ceiling, and then I was gone until the next day. So this is also what happens with children when they have an imaginary friend. So never dismiss that when something supernatural happens in childhood, or as a teenager and later in the growing up years, there is something that you came to do, maybe later in life, that will develop even more. Well, I unfortunately, because of some very strict religious beliefs and religious membership in one of my local churches, I had to shut it down. And it was there, obviously, that intuition, that stays with you. That sixth sense stays with you. So this is a warning also for us parents, that when we notice something with our children, just allow it to develop. Just inform yourself on what is happening, because these children today are actually the future, what do I want to call them? Light workers. Yes, we call them light workers, way showers, gatekeepers. And this is happening, and there's always a sign already that something is awakening in this child when they're very young. In my case, when I closed down, shut it all down, it was for years that I dedicated myself more to studying the Bible and being a devout member of a very powerful church. But then in the 90s, when my mother died, and then my younger sister, it should never happen that your younger sister goes before you. And there was a lot of mysticism around my sister's death also. And then eventually my father also died. And I started connecting with their spirit. And this was something so natural to me. And obviously I had this gift as a child, and now it was developing in a way that I already was familiar with. So what happened is, since all of these I don't want to call them extrasensory, this extrasensory perception that awoken in me, or came back, let's put it this way. I took one course to help myself understand what was happening in my psyche, because communicating with my mother and my father and my sister was obviously something very new. Once this was validated, I just realized that this was part of the awakening today on this planet. We wait for awakening. And what is awakening? Awakening is to wake up to the self, to our purpose on this planet, to the sixth sense. Obviously, with our five senses, we can't do much. But once the sixth sense wakes up in us, we obviously have a much higher calling. So when this happened, that I understood that I had a higher calling. So this goes back now more than 20 years. And I have been on this journey for a long, long time now to understand that more and more people are awakening to similar gifts. And they go back, when they allow themselves to go back or remember going back, something already happened in childhood. So always look back in childhood. Did you have some imaginary friends? Did something else happen? Even traumas, fevers, dreams, all of this prepared you for what is awakening or continues awakening in you today. So my guides told me that the message for all of you out there is that we are awakening to our spiritual gifts. We could be gifted in something, a gifted cook, a gifted doctor, a gifted painter, but at the same time, we are awakening to our spiritual gifts. And it's a much larger expansion of you, yourself, your higher self. And this is what's contributing really to understand what is happening in the world today. More and more light workers are coming to their calling. They realize that the 4D, we coming out of the 3D consciousness and traveling over the 4D bridge into the 5D, which is the fifth dimensional consciousness of being on this planet, where we realize that we are so much more than just this human being. We are spirits having a human experience. So if we are spirits, when the spirit awakens in us, that it's a whole new dimension of being. And this is what is happening on the planet right now. We are awakening to a whole new dimension of being. The dimension that helps us to understand that each one can contribute something to help the awakening on this planet. Our spiritual gifts are very, very, very important. And you need to also understand that our children today, I had it when I was in I woke up when I was in my teenage years, but children now are already born somehow with an obvious gift of intuition. So it's happening earlier and earlier in life. And these are the children of the future. The planet needs the freedom of the sons of God. The planet needs to connect in the oneness in spirit with God. And that's where we're going. That's where the new earth shall be born. The new earth is the global awakening to more than our gifts that we are contributing right now. It's our spiritual gifts, our knowledge, and our awareness that we have so many guides around us. The spirit guides, our angels. I work a lot with the Christ consciousness. I feel the Christ light always with me. So if you are thinking, or if you believe that there is something that you are not yet embracing, just think back when you were a child. Weren't there signs already that there was something in you that was special? Or if you have not had any experience as a child, you are special just now by thinking that there is something in you that needs to wake up. So do not overlook the intuition, what is rising from within, what is awakening and transforming from within us. We are being called to do something more than the physical contribution to this planet. So we are called to connect it all into oneness with spirit, oneness with Source Creator, oneness where fear shall not be anymore, because we only fear when we do not feel connected to God. Once you connect to God, realize that you have so many guides. You angels are with you. Fear just slowly dissipates. So my message today to you is, look at everything that is happening that's out of ordinary, that might be calling you. If it didn't call you or didn't wake up in you when you were younger, it is calling you now. Open your eyes, become aware. We have a whole new world that needs to come into this reality. It's not just a dream. We are transforming in self, and by transforming in self, we are transforming the world. And so love and light is what is the reality. That's what we need to embrace fully. Love and light. And love is God, and light is God, and we are an aspect of God. So just remember, all of this is within us. So let it come, let it surface, and it will be a whole new dimension, a whole new way of seeing things, a whole new way of thinking, and leaving the matrix, where there is only fear, anxiety, not knowing what the future will bring. Well, the future is about transformation, and we are part of this transformation. So my friends, love and light to you.